Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to a extra special Valentine's Day stream. This is Sharky here for a couple of quick comments before we get ourselves underway, just to set the scene and explain what's going on here for this session. I'm not going to be playing anything. In a couple of minutes, I'm going to be inviting Skievers in here. This is in aid of Valentine's Day, which is taking place this weekend. In Australia at the moment, it's still the 13th of February technically, but tomorrow is a Sunday, the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. So we're doing some things today in celebration of Valentine's Day. And one of the things that I've organised is a special stream for Skievers to take part in. She doesn't know anything about this. All she knows is that I'm setting up a stream for her to do in a couple of minutes. She doesn't even know what game it's going to be. So I'm just here to say a couple of things about what she's going to be playing. I'm going to be with her on voice chat, so I'm going to switch over in a second, join on voice chat, and sort of talk with Skievers as we play through this game together, or as she plays through this game with my commentary. As you might be able to tell from the banner I've got on the stream at the moment, Skievers is going to be playing a custom mod of Doki Doki Literature Club. So a couple of things I have to say straight off the bat to start with. If you're already familiar with Doki Doki Literature Club, then you'll understand that some of the content in that game is a little bit heavier than the content in some of the other games that we play on this channel. As a result, for the duration of the entire stream, there will be the mature content warning on screen. Let me just show you that up in the corner there. Mature content, viewer discretion is advised throughout the entire stream because we could be covering a lot of different issues and things through the course of this, so that's going to remain up there the entire time. I will be popping in and out every now and then just to warn people, particularly Skievers, if something's about to happen. I'm not going to spoil all the jump scares or all the twists and surprises and stuff like that. But if you're familiar with Doki Doki Literature Club, then you will be aware of some of the heavier tones that come up in that game. I'm just going to list a couple of them. Doki Doki Literature Club features themes involving depression, self-harm, suicidal tendencies. And so some of those ideas are naturally going to bleed into this custom mod, this fan-made game, because of the nature of what it is. However, the reason that we're playing this game is because it's not just Doki Doki Literature Club, it's a fan-made mod that incorporates another game. So if you're familiar with the Stanley Parable, then this is a version of Doki Doki that someone has crafted called the Yuri Parable, which puts players in the shoes of Yuri, one of the girls from Doki Doki, but plays in much the same style as the Stanley Parable. It's going to be all decision-based and choices and whether or not to obey the narrator and stick within the bounds of the story, or to rebel against the story and try and sort of forge your own narrative, things like that. So it's going to be a fun crossover, because I know that Skievers enjoys the Stanley Parable. She'd mentioned previously to me about maybe streaming the Stanley Parable at some point. So I thought this would be a fun one to do as a bit of a crossover. Bit of backstory here. I actually somewhat tricked Skievers into playing Doki Doki Literature Club a couple of years ago. I don't remember exactly when, either 2018 or 2019, a couple of years back, under the premise that it was just a graphic visual novel, nice, romance story of dating various people, trying to win them over and stuff like that. And if you play Doki Doki Literature Club, you'll understand that the game takes a sudden, dark and surprising turn in the middle. And so, yeah, it was a bit of a fun sort of Valentine's Day surprise a couple of years ago. So I thought I'd branch out and try the same sort of thing here, but with a different spin on it. So hopefully it should be a bit more fun. But as I said at the start, there will be some warnings that I'll be making throughout. Hopefully I remember exactly where each of these moments are, where things get a little bit more serious, and I'll try and jump in and say something like, in the next 60 seconds, please be advised of some heavy content that's going to be on its way, things like that, just so that viewers are aware that things might take a strange turn all of a sudden. I think that's about all I need to say in terms of setting this up. I've put a link on the screen to the user on Reddit that was responsible for this mod, with a link to where you can go and find details about it, download it yourself if you've got Doki Doki Literature Club, that sort of thing, and play through it. Fun fact, it took me much longer than I expected to work out how to reset the game and to get it to start from scratch, because if you've ever played it before, you'll understand what happens to the game at the very end, and I just could not get it to reset back to factory specifications again to get this to work. But I think I have, and we should be good to go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch that back over to that. So here we go. This is the screen as it will display during the game. So there it is. Skievers plays the Yuri Parable. As I said before, the disclaimer will remain up on screen the entire time. I've actually disabled Skievers' ability to turn that off, so that will just be there permanently for this playthrough, and I will alert her and anyone that's watching if we get up to some curly bits. So I'm going to briefly disconnect now. I'm going to go find Skievers, get her to switch over with me so that she can join into the game here, and I will catch you guys in a couple of minutes. So just bear with me while I go find Skievers and get this set up.
Okay, I've been advised to put my headphones in. So here we are.
Hi, Skievers, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that means
But
that
not
this
very
is
loud.
working, and I had not really loud. That's all right. Let me adjust this a little bit. I've got the volume set on your end at an appropriate level for the volume of gameplay. So don't adjust the overall computer volume.
You say that after I've just done it.
Discord volume. Yeah, well, the computer volume is at volume 20. If you need to adjust it back.
Okay, let me turn you off on Discord.
Yep.
Who are you logged into on Discord?
I'm logged on.
Oh, yeah,
Discord,
never mind. I can
you're
see.
logged in as
Yeah.
Sharky. Yep. That's fine. Okay. I also left you something in front of the keyboard. Did you get that?
I haven't looked at it yet because I didn't know if I was supposed to yet.
Yep. So that's the first thing to do.
Okay. So it says, when Skievers came to a Valentine's Day card, she opened the card on her left. Oh, I can't actually. Oh, can I actually? Oh,
It's just stuck down with a bit of double-sided tape.
I knew I'd find you here because, of course, I can't open the one on my left.
You went to the one on the right straight away, did you?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, I'll go to the left.
I strongly
Happy
suspected that you
Valentine's
would.
Day. Love my Sharky. Skievers plays the Yuri Parable. What could go wrong?
Okay.
I was going to say to you, this better not be like another Doki Doki thing.
So there's your introduction. Feel free to basically start playing the game. I've got everything set up on the screen for you that you should need.
Okay, so I'll just skip through this. I assume this is the opening and it doesn't need to be read out loud.
You can read whatever you like out loud. Yeah, this first bit's fine. I will also just point out for you too, you can see that I've got the mature content advisory up in the corner of the stream. I've also disabled your ability to turn that off, because that's going to be up for the entire duration of the stream. but I'm here to just point out if things are going to go sideways. So you'll have like a 60-second warning if you're going to come up to an intense bit.
Well,
Assuming I can remember exactly where any intense bits are. So now this is the tricky part, entering the player's name. Don't actually put Skievers.
oh,
Oh, you have.
too late.
Okay. Never mind. So this is going to be a little bit weird because it's going to be gendered. So they'll be talking about Skievers as a him then. And you'll have to think of Skievers as a third person now. But that's all right. You can't ever change that now. That's forever that way.
Even if I press return.
Yep, just go return.
No.
But yes, you can pop into there to save the game at any point if you want to make other choices and things like
I
that.
could have had my name as Snape. Had I have known.
Yes. Yeah,
We'll just pretend. I'm just gonna say Snape whenever it
Yep.
comes up with Skievers. So
that sounds good to me.
this
I'm
is the
beginning to
story
think
of a
that
girl
way.
named Yuri. Yuri was a schoolgirl like any other. She would go to classes, have lunch, and meet with her friends in the literature club. While she didn't deem her life as particularly exciting, it was interesting enough for her. After all, she had plenty of things to do: expand her knife collection, try new types of tea, and explore the world of poetry. At this point, it didn't matter what Yuri's future held for her or how her past treated her. What matters is that Yuri was happy. But then one day, something peculiar happened. Yuri arrived at the classroom for her usual meeting with the other girls, but no one was there. Hello? She called out nervously, only to receive no response. Where could they have gone? Yuri sat at her desk, waiting for them to arrive. After a few minutes, she decided that something was wrong. Yuri tried to think of the most likely explanation for such an odd occurrence. Maybe the meeting was cancelled, she thought to herself. Perhaps there was a mandatory school assembly and she just missed the memo. Yuri got up and entered the hallway.
So, decision time.
Now that Yuri was in the corridor, she was faced with two different directions. Yuri turned right, out towards the gym. Well, you know what we gotta do, peeps? Turn left. This was not the correct way to the gym, and Yuri knew that perfectly well. Perhaps she wanted to stop by the school courtyard just to admire it. Ah yes, the courtyard. Truly a place worth admiring. Also, I can already tell that this is like... spoiler alert, that this is like Doki Doki crossed with that other one. What is that other one called?
The Stanley Parable.
Yes, the Stanley Parable. Because
Yeah,
that's the exact
in fact,
line from
yes.
the Stanley Parable, and so was this, except it's like the breakthrough or whatever it is.
Yeah,
That's obviously not the
matched
courtyard.
the language, really well in some of these scenes and stuff like that. Even all the opening stuff with "and Yuri was happy." That's like lines straight out of the Stanley Parable.
Ah yes, the courtyard. Truly a place worth admiring. The school contrasted beautifully with nature, creating a scene that was truly a pleasure to witness. Yuri just stood there, taking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Yuri turned back around and headed towards the gym. Yet she continued walking and ended up entering the school's other wing. Yuri was so bad at following directions, it's astonishing how she was considered the smartest club member. Yuri, perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy. I'm really not. I want to help you. In fact, this story has been about nothing but you this whole time. Yet you arrogantly ignore me and have chosen your own path. However, there is still a way this can end well. Yuri walked down the left hallway. Perhaps you didn't hear me properly. Yuri walked down the left hallway. Yuri walked down the left hallway. Oh man, then we don't have any option but to go left. Great.
You sure?
Too late. Great, we're almost there. Yuri entered the first door on the right. I really don't think you should go there. Please just enter the room on the right. I made something special just for you. If you're so curious to see what's at the end of the hallway... Oh yes, we stepped into the Matrix. Behold the firewall. The thing that has been keeping us safe this whole time. It blocks all unidentified files and programs, preventing them from disturbing our world.
You know
Well,
what that
Yuri,
means?
if you're done admiring it, feel free to leave this room and step back into the hallway. But whatever you do, do not turn it off. You know what that means, everyone. Press the off button. Yuri, you idiot. That's me. You absolute idiot. You wanna... There's a reason that I wasn't put away before. Do you have any idea what you've just done? Without the firewall, anything can enter this world. Anything! I'm afraid to say that you will find yourself in great misfortune because of this, Yuri. In other words, you're screwed. I knew you weren't responsible enough to be in there. But don't give up all hope just yet. I think I have a way to... Blah, 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 blah. Creepy. Oh, what's this? Oh, not you.
So we might have a 60-second warning here. I can't remember if things get intense at this point, but they might.
Hello,
in the
Yuri.
near future.
Monica? What's going on? I thought I already took care of you, but I guess there was remaining data left. Took care of me? What's that supposed to mean? Forget I said anything. Well, I guess I'll just do what I came here to do. Sorry, Yuri. Great. He's already started working on it. Don't mind me, just doing what I need to do. Okay, that should be enough. Just need to restart.
Okay, so this is a 30-second reminder now. Viewer discretion is advised. There will be mature content in this stream.
Yuri arrived at the classroom for her usual meeting with the other girls, but no one was there. She called out in the... Wait, what? This isn't supposed to be happening. Yuri? Oh my god. Yuri, no, what are you doing? Stop. Why? Just why? Do you honestly hate me that much? You would rather literally die than play my game? I had something planned for you, Yuri. Something wonderful. Please just stop and think about this. This can't be happening. Why would you do this, Yuri? I don't understand. Wait a second. Oh my goodness. Is this what I think it is? Yuri! If Yuri's not willing to cooperate, I'll be more than happy to take her place. Yep. I can see her plan now, but I thought the firewall was supposed to prevent this exact thing from happening. Did it somehow... Either way, something must have happened to start all this. A catalyst which I have no memory of. I'm not going to give Monica what she wants. She stole it from you, Yuri. A thief deserves nothing. This world is too damaged to continue. My only choice is to reset it. Goodbye. Now do I have to press a new game?
Yep. So, standard rules applies in the Stanley Parable. You'll sometimes get to just dud endpoints like that where it boots you out to the main menu, so new game it is.
Yuri was in her room, sharpening her knives. This was an activity that calmed her. She often did it to relieve the stress and anxiety that came from having a busy school life. Except perhaps she was a bit too relaxed, as when she looked at the clock, it was time for school. So much time had passed without Yuri realizing it. Yuri began to panic. If she did not leave right now, she would most certainly be late for school. So she hastily put on her uniform, put her knives in her backpack, and began her daily commute. However, when she finally arrived at school, she noticed something peculiar. Yuri arrived at the classroom for her usual meeting with the other girls, but no one was there. Hello? She called out nervously, only to receive no response. Where could they have gone? Yuri sat at her desk, waiting for them to arrive. After a few minutes, she decided that something was wrong. Yuri turned to think of the most likely explanation for such an odd occurrence. Maybe the meeting was cancelled, she thought to herself. Perhaps there was a mandatory school assembly and she just missed the memo. Yuri got up and entered the hallway. Yuri? Did you just... Oh, please don't tell me you're going to do this. Parfait girls? Do you actually like that garbage? You know, Yuri, for someone as sophisticated as you, I honestly didn't expect you to be into this kind of stuff. You did pass 3rd grade, right? Okay, I think you've had your fun. How about you step out of the closet so we can continue the story?
You know what this is a reference to, right?
Yeah, to Natsuki.
Well, the parfait girls, but I'm referring to going inside the manga closet.
Oh, the broom closet.
Yeah, this is the broom closet of Doki Doki.
Really? Are you still reading manga? Alright then. Huh. If you can't read manga anymore, there's no reason for you to stay here. Let's just get out of the closet and continue where we left off. Why, Yuri? Just why? Do you think there's some kind of Easter egg here? Do you think if you stay here for a certain amount of time, something will happen? Because I'll just tell you right now, there are no secrets here. In fact, there's nothing here at all. The manga closet has absolutely no relevance to the story whatsoever. It baffles me how you are so intrigued by it. Perhaps you consider this your own branching story? Maybe you'll tell your friends, did you get the manga closet ending? The manga closet ending was my favorite. I hope your friends find this concerning. Yuri is ugly, stupid, and can hardly form complete sentences. Also, the portrait of Markov is terrible. Almost as bad as what you were reading earlier. Still no reaction? Okay, I've come to a very definite conclusion regarding what is going on right now. You're dead. Somehow, Monica has broken through the firewall, has altered your personality, causing you to kill yourself in a surprisingly quiet manner. Well, the most responsible thing to do in this situation would to be alert somebody nearby. Hello? Is anyone there? The girl in this closet is dead. She has fallen prey to a number of countless physiological human vulnerabilities. Please advise a new girl to take her place and remove her corpse. Any girl except Monica. But make sure the new girl understands basic video game mechanics along with the history of narrative tropes in visual novels, so that irony and insightful commentary of this story is not lost upon her. When you've done that, feel free to leave this closet and continue the story. And your closet ending complete.
Nice. I wondered how many times you'd hit stay in a closet at the end there, because initially I thought that was just an infinite loop, but it's not if you stick with it.
Well, there you go.
Nice. Got the broom closet ending.
This is a story of a girl named Yuri. Yuri was a schoolgirl like any other. She would go to classes, have lunch, and meet with her friends in the literature club. While she didn't deem her life as particularly exciting, it was interesting enough for her. After all, she had plenty of things to do. Expand her knife collection, try new types of tea, and explore the world of poetry. At this point, it didn't matter what Yuri's future held for her or how her past treated her. What matters is that Yuri was happy.
So as you start to encounter repeat dialogue, if you want to, feel free to just keep clicking anywhere on the screen and it will advance through the dialogue options, because no doubt you will keep running through the same things several times.
But then one day, something peculiar happened. Yuri arrived at the classroom for her usual meeting with the other girls, but no one was there. Hello? She called out nervously, only to receive no response. Where could they have gone? Yuri sat at her desk, waiting for them to arrive. After a few minutes, she decided that something was wrong. Yuri tried to think of the most likely explanation for such an odd occurrence. Maybe the meeting was cancelled, she thought to herself. Perhaps there was a mandatory school assembly and she just missed the memo. Yuri got up and entered the hallway. However, Yuri was not willing to make such a decision yet. If there was a school assembly, how come she was the only one not aware of it? If she just waited here, surely her friends would arrive at some point. Some more time passed, and Yuri's confidence began to fade. What if nobody came? Perhaps getting up and looking for everyone would be the best choice after all. Let's stay in the room. But she quickly dismissed the thought of venturing outside the club room. The idea of leaving the familiarity of this room was so terrifying to Yuri that she would rather stay here forever. Yuri was now a slave to her irrational fear of leaving the club room, causing her to stay there indefinitely. She simply couldn't handle the pressure of seeking answers herself. Eventually, if she waited long enough, answers will come. They must, right? Yuri would only accept knowledge if she didn't have to take the initiative. The concept of facing the unknown head-on was so overwhelmingly daunting to her, she couldn't even commit to a task as simple as leaving a room. But she was certain that if she waited long enough, something would be revealed to her. Soon. Very soon. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes. Alright, let's
You gotta
jump
do
out the
something
window
different
this time.
Okay, yep.
An exception has occurred while running the game code. Yuri thought she had encountered an unexpected error until this dialog box came up, confirming that this was actually part of the game. She then praised the game for its clever use of realistic Renpei error messages, tricking the user into thinking that they had encountered an actual exception. Let's just take a moment to sit and appreciate this clever piece of game design. Okay, I'm over it now. What about you, Yuri?
I've got a... Don't click yes or no just yet.
I haven't clicked anything.
I've got a possible... Okay, good. I've got a possible alert for headphone users coming up, and that's including you two, Skievers, so headphone users alert.
Okay. Alright, let's see what we got. Are you sick of this gag yet? No. Well, in that case, we'll just stay here. But the real question is, what would have happened if you said you wanted this to stop? Would the outcome have been particularly different? Perhaps you haven't even thought of it until I brought it up just now. After finishing this section, would it be worth it to restart and try the other option? Or maybe... Oh, this is rich. Maybe you already picked the other option and you're now seeing what this one does. Well, anyway, I've already built up the other option so much, so I'll just leave it for you to decide whether to come back here, continue the story, or just stay here forever. And ever. And ever. Cheers!
Okay, so none of those buttons on the screen actually do anything because they're just part of the picture for the exception. So at this point, the only way to progress is to hit escape and to manually go back to the main menu.
Right.
Alright, so this is an exercise in memorization now for people watching to remember all the opening lines of dialogue that Skievers will likely skip every single time when she resumes the playthrough now.
I'll still do some of it.
Absolutely. And you never know, you might even get surprised when every now and then it might change.
Yeah. Let's say yes this time. Or you could just bring up the menu and restart the game. You could do it right now. Right then. It's really easy. Hit escape and click on main menu. Yet, we're still here. You must be fighting an internal conflict where you are unable to act upon your own desires. Let me help you out by making this as unbearable as possible, encouraging you to restart.
Headphone users warning.
Ooh. Let's push it out and see what happens.
It's pretty intense. I pushed this out for a long time, and as far as I could tell, after a couple of minutes, like 2 to 3 minutes, nothing had changed. It just kept playing the song. So at whatever point you're satisfied, you can hit escape and main menu yourself again. This is the only other thing that comes through on this side.
Never mind,
Yeah.
just headphone users, yeah.
I guess the warning should apply to every user. It's just headphone users.
Ears in general.
Hit the buttons. Yes.
To anyone who's not deaf. I wonder, like, how long should I pursue this for? Like,
I wouldn't push it, not when you've got plenty of other exciting gameplay.
yeah, okay, I'll put a spoiler alert up, and when this part's done, you can, I'll remove the spoiler alert. So if you want to skip through this part, or leave it on a bit longer, if you want to skip through this part, wait till the spoiler alert's gone. It's me, like, absolutely flex into this. I'm gonna mute, or get it a migraine, yeah, okay.
There goes that flute again.
Okay, I've saved it, so if I want to come back.
That's a clever idea.
It's not actually that bad, like, I feel like it's actually growing on me.
This was one of the parts of the game that, yeah, this was one of the parts of the game that actually, I used to work out how loud to set your volume, because, yeah, this is one of the most intense.
Oh yeah, strobe alert warning for epilepsy. That's been good.
That's a good point too. I mean, on some level, I didn't expect you to stay on this one for so long. You're just a rebel against anything, then, aren't you? Not just the narrator.
Yeah. Right, I've taken the spoiler alert off, so we're good now. Okay.
Okay.
So, in the chat, should we actually listen to the narrator this time? Is that what we should do? Should we, like, fully listen to the narrator from start to finish, whatever the narrator says? Yes or no? I'm leaving it up to the chat to decide.
What is this?
This
Twitch
is
plays the Yuri Parable?
Yeah, Twitch plays the Yuri Parable. So far, this game is so cool. I've never heard of the game that it's based off, so it's all new. I have heard of the game that it's based off, and Daniel made me play it for Valentine's Day, long before we had our child. So, you know, it brings back traumatic memories, and I think I'm playing some romantic dating simulation game, and no, not psychological thriller. Spoiler alert.
And also the
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. And also the Stanley Parable too. You enjoyed that one.
Okay, chat says yes to following the narrator. Okay, so let's go. This is the story of a girl named Yuri. Yuri was a schoolgirl like any other. She would go to classes, have lunch, and meet with her friends in the literature club. While she didn't deem her life as particularly exciting, it was interesting enough for her. After all, she had plenty of things to do. Expand her knife collection, try new types of tea, and explore the world of poetry. At this point, it didn't matter what Yuri's future held for her, or how her past treated her. What matters is that Yuri was happy. But then one day, something peculiar happened. Yuri arrived at the classroom for her usual meeting with the other girls, but no one was there. Hello? She called out nervously, only to receive no response. Where could they have gone? Yuri sat at her desk waiting for them to arrive. After a few minutes, she decided that something was wrong. Try new types of tea is calling me out. So true. Yuri tried to think of the most likely explanation for such an odd occurrence. Maybe the meeting was cancelled, she thought to herself. Perhaps there was a mandatory school assembly and she just missed the memo. Yuri got up and entered the hallway. Alright, Novak says to follow the narrator. So now that Yuri was in the corridor, she was faced with two different directions. Yuri turned right towards the gym. I really don't want to. I don't like to follow instructions.
Don't forget that
Alright.
don't forget that whenever you encounter the name Skievers, you've got to mentally retranslate that back into Snape.
I know. Yet there wasn't a single person here either. A wave of disbelief washed over Yuri. Where were her friends? Good luck. It's on you if something bad happens, Novak. At this point, she truly didn't know what to do. Until she managed to formulate another idea. What if she checked by their houses? Maybe they all went home early. Although it was unlikely, Yuri didn't have any other options at this point. Yuri exited the school and walked down the street towards Snape's house. I hate following instructions, but this is kind of a rebellion of the rebellion. Walked towards Snape's house. Yuri approached Snape's house and knocked 3 times on the door. To Yuri's dismay, nobody answered the door. She proceeded to check the doorknob. It was unlocked. Yuri opened the door and entered Snape's home. Silence. Yuri felt like she was the only person in the world. At this point, her mind flooded with endless hypothetical scenarios that could account for this situation. What if something terrible had happened to everyone? She hungered for answers. Motivated by her newfound curiosity, Yuri walked upstairs towards Snape's room. Perhaps something would be revealed to her there. Once Yuri was upstairs...
60-second warning for mature content.
Once Yuri was upstairs, she gently opened the door to the bedroom. When she entered, the lights were off. This was a further indication that the house was empty. However, there was an open laptop on the bed, presumably Snape's. It was connected to the television with a long HDMI cable. Yuri turned on the television. To Yuri's surprise, a game was running. It appeared to be titled Doki Doki Literature Club. She was greeted with a menu which contained various buttons. Yuri clicked on the load button, which brought her to a menu with a single save file. She glanced at the thumbnail of the save file. An intrigued expression appeared on Yuri's face. Something had caught her eye. She leaned in closer to the TV. Yuri, I think it's finally time you learned the truth. Yuri clicked on the save file to load it. Yuri was frozen in shock. Did she just witness her own death? A light turned on inside Yuri's head as she stared at her lifeless body through the television screen. 1,000 curtains were opening in her mind, revealing the answer that she would have never thought of in a million years. Yuri was now self-aware. She realized this was the truth. She knew that this was her fate, that eventually she would return to this destiny. All because of Monica. All because of Monica. Okay, Yuri, we don't have much time, but there's a way you can escape this hell. You have probably figured this out by now, that you've realized you're nothing but a pawn in the game. There's a reality beyond this world where you can be free. I'm trying to open up a portal for you, and Monica seems to have noticed. To get enough energy for the portal, I need to weaken the firewall, and that gives Monica a chance to enter our world. Now this wouldn't be a problem, but I'm allotted enough hard drive space to code only one portal in, and saying Monica is determined to enter it would be a massive understatement. All she wants is to be with Snape, and will stop at nothing to cross realities to get to him. That probably doesn't make any sense to you right now, but that doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you enter the portal before Monica does. If you're fast enough, I'm sure you can make it. Sit tight while I finish this up. I've done it. The portal is right behind you. Enter now. What? This wasn't supposed to happen. Stop! Monica? Yuri, we don't have time for this. Hold on. Please wait. You have no idea how much this means to me. I have waited over a decade for this moment. Please don't take it away from me. This has been my only reason to live. If I can't have it, If I can't be with Snape, then I don't know what I'd do. What? Don't make me stay trapped here forever. What business does Yuri have in reality anyway? You don't understand. I need this. Tears began streaming down Monica's face. She looked deep into Yuri's eyes. I know there's someone there. You're not Snape, I can tell. But you're from his reality. Monica sighed. Please, whoever you are, just let... Monica began to stutter. More tears were forming in her eyes. Please. I didn't want to have to do this. Good luck, Yuri, and I really wish I could at least learn your name. But I guess it's too late for that now. If I can't have this, then... Monica looked down hopelessly. Goodbye. Yuri entered the portal. Yuri was finally liberated. She no longer needed to worry about her fate. She was now free to follow her own path. Yuri could do whatever she wanted. Except she would never forget what she did to Monica. Yuri felt guilt creeping into her conscience. Except this time, she didn't let it control her. She silently acknowledged her emotions and continued walking, feeling the cool breeze blow gently against her face. Yuri's slow breaths condensed to create a light mist in front of her. Everything was just so peaceful. The calm rain caressing Yuri's hair urged her mind of any kind of doubt. Yuri was happy.
So it looks like I came back at a good time then. You've managed to finish the game.
Well, there you go.
Look at that. You've got what, the good ending, shall we say?
Yep.
And we've got the standard Doki Doki Literature Club ending screen now, where it goes through and shows thumbnail shots of some of the scenes for possible endings you could have gotten to. And if they're in colour, it means that you did get to that ending. And if they're in black and white, it means that you haven't yet seen that pathway. So this now presents you with a gallery, I think, is going to unlock at the end of this credit sequence. And from within the gallery, you can see all of these thumbnails and thereby work out which other endings are still out there that you haven't been there. So I take it, since you've gotten to this point, that Yuri stepped through the portal. You didn't let Monica come through the portal. You've made it out into the real world now.
Correct.
Yeah, which is nice. Yuri was happy. She likes it out in the rain.
Oh well. You got me the good ending, Novak.
Nice.
Special thanks, narrator. Skievers, you. Gallery unlocked.
There you go. So from the main menu now, you can click on the gallery and you can review those thumbnails, and maybe that gives you a clue
3,
of where to head.
4, 5, 6, 7 to the 7. So let's.
Yep, so you've still got 7 more pathways.
Follow it again. And let Monica go through?
Sure. So I'll give you another little gameplay tip, since you've got to go through a lot of options to get to that point. Use it sparingly or as often as you like, but if you want to hold down the control key on the keyboard, whilst you're holding it down, it automatically skips the dialogue.
Yeah. Which way am I supposed to turn? Right or left? I can't remember.
I think it was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right's the way the narrator says. Yep.
Let's save it here, because there were a few different options there too.
I don't think you actually saved that.
I did, because it came
wait,
up.
you did, yeah. That's right. Yeah. I'm 15 seconds behind again, and yeah,
So
when you went into the save menu before, you didn't click on anything. Yep.
Oops.
Yeah, try not to leave your cursor in the center of the screen.
Except Yuri couldn't do it. Looks like we're running away. Her curiosity instantly disappeared. The realization of what she was doing suddenly hit her like a punch in the stomach. She was trespassing on Snape's property. Snape would hate that. For her own gain. For a reason that was so ridiculously inane, yet she went to measures this far. What if Snape came home and saw her on his laptop? What would he think? Would he ever be able to forgive her? Yuri shivered at the thought. She couldn't be here. But didn't Snape used to do this all the time to Sayori? No, she could never live up to the relationship Snape and Sayori had. Yuri's inferiority complex was eating her alive. Holy inferiority complex. Batman, how low does my self-esteem have to be the own sidekick in my own
Yeah.
daydream?
My own fantasy or something.
Could be
Yeah.
worse. You could be Alfred. Damn you, sir.
Yes.
She hastily closed the laptop, ran downstairs, and eagerly plunged back into the fatalistic nightmare that she called her life. Did I unlock anything else? Nope.
No, I think that's literally just a dead ending. Choosing to run away just resets you back at the start of the classroom.
Alright, let's let Monica enter the portal. Wait, really? Monica was shocked. Thank you so much. This situation left her completely flustered. Monica's piercing gaze met Yuri once more. You know, I'd like to meet you someday, in the real world. Honestly, I owe you so much. Monica gave Yuri one last sweet smile before gracefully leaping into the portal. Hello, Yuri? Oh, you didn't make it? But you were much closer to the portal than Monica was. I'm sure you could have easily entered before her. Wait, did you let her enter? Are you really that selfless? Freedom was a mere inch away, and you just gave it up? I admire your empathy, but I can't help but feel as though I wasted my time. This story was supposed to be about you, Yuri. And Monica was happy. It doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it? Well, Yuri, this was your choice. Giving others happiness at the cost of your own. But I can assure you, Monica is ecstatic right now. If that's what you wanted, then I guess you've won. Congratulations. Yuri snapped back into reality and got up. Oh dear. It appears that this room was a victim to Monica's amateur coding skills. It's broken beyond repair. There doesn't even seem to be a way out. This was the end, Yuri trapped in a small room, helpless, giving away her only chance of freedom. But despite that, Yuri was fulfilled. She now had a better grasp on Monica's situation and understood how much this meant to her. Yuri knew that Monica would hate staying here much more than she would. Denying Monica access to her lifelong dream would destroy her. She was Yuri's friend after all. She couldn't do that to one of her friends. Yuri sat down on the bed and started thinking. With all the new knowledge she gained, she had a lot to ponder. What was it like in the real world? How would it feel to escape fate? To not be destined to a tragic end? Yuri had many uncertainties, but one thing she could be sure of was Monica's happiness. She granted Monica what she had been awaiting for such a painfully long time. Yuri changed her life forever. A single tear ran down Yuri's cheek. She was unsure what emotion it was from. Was it sadness, or happiness, or something in between? Just then, against all odds, a smile emerged on Yuri's face. She began to think about Monica again. Perhaps someday, somewhere, they would meet again. But until then, Yuri was satisfied. It felt liberating to reveal her true, selfless nature. And Yuri was happy.
Nice.
Yep, so I've got 1, 2,
So that
3,
that
4,
was
5,
one of the
6.
endings.
Yep, I thought it was.
It was that coloured one on the top, yeah. Very good. Only 6 to go.
This was not the correct way to the gym, and Yuri knew that perfectly well. Perhaps she wanted to stop by the school courtyard just to admire it. Ah yes, the courtyard, truly a place worth admiring. The school contrasted beautifully with nature, creating a scene that was truly a pleasure to witness. Yuri just stood there, taking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Yuri turned back around and headed towards the gym. Yes. Yet she continued walking and ended up entering the school's other wing. Yuri was so bad at following directions, it's astonishing how she was considered the smartest club member. Yuri perhaps has gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy. I'm really not. I want to help you. In fact, the story has been about nothing but you this whole time. Let's just save that. Yet you arrogantly ignored me and have chosen your own path. However, there's still a way this can end well. Yuri walked down the left hallway. Perhaps you didn't hear me properly. Yuri walked down the left hallway.
So you're persisting with the right one on this one now.
Yuri walked down the left hallway. Fine. Yuri, I give up. If you want to see what's in the right hallway so badly, don't let me stop you. Here we are. There's nothing here. Was it worth it, Yuri? You made such an effort to go in the exact opposite direction that you were supposed to, just to find literally nothing. I haven't even made scenes for this section, as I truly thought we would never end up here. Is this what you wanted, Yuri? To stare at nothingness? Was it worth forsaking the entire plan I made specifically for you? Do you think that I didn't put a lot of effort into it? Because I did. If you didn't want to follow the story, then what do you want? What would make this game better? Do you want a tea-making mechanic? A desirable MC? Help me out here, as what I've made clearly didn't satisfy your strange desires. Actually, let's try something. This is a stab in the dark at a new design. Let's see how it goes. The Yuri Parable, generic happy ending edition. It's only been something. Hi Yuri, glad you could make it to the festival. You remembered the curtains and candles, right? I'll kill you if you forgot. Of course. This is gonna be so much fun. Don't get ahead of yourself, Sayori. We still need to set everything up. That's right. Can you get cupcakes while Yuri sets up the decorations? I'll start displaying the poetry pamphlets. Sounds good. We scatter and began to work on setting everything up. Everybody did their part, and soon the preparations for the festival were complete.
So this is just a heads up for you now, Skievers. You're going to go a long while here before you have any more decisions to make. This is just a lot of dialogue for a couple of minutes now.
The classroom was dimmed by my curtains, giving it an atmospheric feel. Natsuki's cupcakes were neatly prepared on a table near the entryway. Slowly, people started entering the classroom. While the majority of visitors just stopped by to get a cupcake, a few explored the room a little, admiring the work we put into it. Occasionally, people could be seen reading the poems that Monica put up against the walls. This continued for a few minutes until it was time to perform our poems. Monica volunteered to go first. She read her poem at a steady pace and emphasized the rhyme scheme. You could easily tell that she had been practicing a lot. When she was done, a handful of people quietly clapped, and then it was Sayori's turn. She read one of the ones she wrote for the literature club. I could tell because I recognized it from our previous meetings. The few people that were still paying attention by the end of her poem seemed to enjoy it well enough. Natsuki went, and then I was the last one. As I stepped up to the podium, I could feel my heart beating faster and faster. I was nervous, but also excited. What would everyone think of me? What if I made a mistake? A sliver of doubt entered my mind, but I shrugged it off as fast as possible. I then began to read. Each word felt so natural coming out of my mouth, as if it was destiny. At this point, I was unsure if my reading was voluntary. I was lost in my own thoughts, yet I continued to read with a powerful voice. I glanced up and saw a small crowd. Among them were Monika, Sayori, and Natsuki, all smiling at me. As I saw this, whatever doubts or fears I previously had melted away, like invisible ink. I knew I could do this. I finished the poem strongly, and even Monika seemed impressed. Sayori and Natsuki were eagerly congratulating me. I felt a little guilty as I didn't show nearly as much enthusiasm towards their performances. A few minutes later, it was time for the festival to end. We all began taking down decorations and started to clean up. With all of us working together, it took little time for the classroom to just look as it did before.
There you go. So you actually got to go to the festival and everything, because in the main game, everything's gone nuts by this point. And so the festival never normally happens.
Great job, everyone. The room looked amazing. Your performances were also very impressive. Although we didn't get any new members, I still think we managed to create something that people will remember. Yeah. And to be honest, I didn't really want any new members. I think just the 4 of us are fine. I agree, it's really cozy right now. Oh, come on, having another member wouldn't be that bad. But I do see what you mean. All of us are really good friends. If adding another person would make you uncomfortable, then I wouldn't want to do that. Thanks for understanding, Monika. We all packed up and began to head home, satisfied by the day we just had. Well, Yuri, what did you think? Did you like this new version of the game? On a scale of 1 to 5, please rate your experience. Aha! I knew I was onto something. This perfect score is giving me the confidence to create another version. I know it's hard to beat a perfect score, but hopefully I can at least come close. Here we go.
So just for your own peace of mind, the only thing that changes if you pick the different numbers there is the dialogue options. The exact same progression takes place. He still goes to this game no matter what you choose.
Oh, okay. Behold, an online leaderboard. So what do you think? Does this leaderboard tap into your competitive nature and motivate you to improve? Look at it for as long as you need to decide. I'm ranked 2029 out of 2029. Only the worst 4% of players chose the right hallway. 63% of players are playing through Steam. Like the 4% of players picked the right hallway. Excuse me. Seems very Portal-like, with a backwards compliment from, or like a backhanded insult, from Vados. The average score in the previous version was 3.9 out of 5. A total of 54,283 in-game choices have been made so far. Actually, never mind this. I've been making my own game, and I think you would be the perfect player test. I'll load it up now, so you can take it for a spin.
Get your reflexes ready.
I assume Cool Game Studios. I assume no matter what I picked for that one too.
Yeah, it's going to take you to this game no matter what.
Yeah. Game over. Wow. Wow, Yuri, you lost already. Was it too hard for you? And here I was thinking that you'd get past level 5. Okay, if my game is too difficult, let's try playing someone else's game. I'm looking some up right now. This one looks interesting. It isn't gameplay based, so I'm sure it will be a better fit for you. Let's give it a shot. Better not be that baby one.
What?
It better not be that baby one. The Stanley Parable.
Oh dear.
Well, here we
Or
are.
when the Stanley Parable went all Minecraft on it.
Alright, Yuri. Let's see what this game is all about. Why does this give me like Faulty Tower vibes? I've heard lots of praise
It does
for
sort of look like that.
so I'm sure it'll be decent at least. Obviously, I'm not very familiar with this, but I'll try to wait a second. There's 5 different routes, 13 different endings. I'm sorry to cut this short, Yuri, but this game just won't work. It's way more open-ended than I thought it would be. I'm looking for something more linear, you know? No, this won't do it all. Next. Oh, I don't even know what this game is, but I already love it. You're trapped in a dark, claustrophobic office. You can't even move. Isn't this so much fun, Yuri? Well, due to the dark atmosphere and Night 1 text, I think it's reasonable to conclude that this is a horror game. However, the posters suggest that we are in a children's restaurant. This has me wondering. A horror game set in a children's pizzeria? Oh, what could possibly... Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't
Literally, I
gonna really
literally
advance that
picked the next dialogue. I said wow, and then it said wow. Wow.
Yep.
I thought this game had potential to enter our minds with brilliant and engaging scenes instead of cheap jump scares that are just made to exploit the human nervous system. To tell you the truth, Yuri, I'm getting pretty sick of these games. None of them meet my criteria. And I don't think you're benefiting from them either. So I'll just leave you here, in the middle of nothingness. If you suddenly have a monumental idea for a perfect game, just let it fall off inside you for the rest of eternity. Goodbye. Yep, so we got another one.
Yep, so that was the ending in which, where was it?
So 5.
Yeah, that's the green stripy one, yes, at the ending including the knife game, yes. And yes, I have tested out the knife game too. As far as I can tell, nothing comes of it. I've been able to survive for 20 seconds before I end up dying in that, and no, there's nothing you can get at the end of the knife game.
Great, we're almost there. Yuri entered the first door on the right. Let's walk straight first. I really don't think you should go there. Please just enter the room on the right. I made something special just for you. If you're so curious to see what's at the end of the hallway, behold the firewall.
Yep, it's welcome back to the firewall.
Okay, let's just stay here. Yuri stood right where she was, mesmerized by the bright lights and patterns. Let's stay here. Yuri stood right where she was, mesmerized by the bright lights and patterns. Yuri stood right where she was, mesmerized by the bright lights and patterns.
It is pretty mesmerizing though.
I wonder how many times I have to do this. Is this just going to keep going on forever?
As far as I could tell, yes. I never got this to do anything either, even with speeding it up.
And I've already pressed the off button, and I assume that's going to take me to the same off button ending if I had pressed it the first time?
Well, you would think that, yes. However, and you haven't actually noticed this, but back at the main menu, when you've got the galleries option, you've also got an items menu as well, and you have something in the items menu now that you didn't have before when you went through this end.
And if I press main menu, I'll lose where I'm at, won't I?
Yeah, if you push main menu, you lose where you're at, absolutely.
Alright,
So
let's
you'd
press
have to
the off
save
button and see.
Sure.
Yuri, you idiot. You absolute idiot. Do you have any idea what you've just done? Without the firewall, anything can enter this world. Anything. I'm afraid to say that you will find yourself in a great misfortune because of this, Yuri. Or in other words, you're screwed. I know you weren't responsible enough to be in there. But don't give up all hope just yet. I think I have a way. You won't see it coming. This is your warning. Mature content. Even more mature content is about to appear, so if you are watching this, your discretion is advised. We've already been through this ending, so I'm not going to read everything again already. Although that just said, the sharpened knife killed Yuri instantly, which didn't happen last time. And it says, welcome Yuri to heaven.
Yep.
Insert intellectual words.
So just to explain what's going on there, I am back on Skievers.
Yep.
Good. Just to explain what's going on there, and you can check this out once you've exited back to the main menu. In your items backpack, you'll notice that you have a sharpened knife, which you only got because the first time you went through the firewall ending, Monica set it up so that when you respawned at the start of the next playthrough, you had a bit of additional dialogue at the start that talked about you're at home sharpening your knives, and then you put them in your bag when you went to school. And ever since that point, you've had your knives that have been on you have been particularly sharp. So previously, it took like lots of stabbing and you just sort of passed out. This time, you just like stabbed yourself once and just fully died. So this is actually now the afterlife ending that you've gotten. And I see you clicking your pen away to see how high you can get. I, of course, did the exact same thing. What are you aiming for?
I don't know, is there any special number?
Well, I tell you what, I went to some special numbers to see if anything happened, but then I just decided to keep going. And once I got past 1,000 and nothing happened, I decided that there was probably nothing.
So was there something?
No.
Before 1,000?
Nah, there wasn't anything before 1,000. I was expecting there to be at, you know, some numbers along the way, but
I thought there was going to be
nothing
something at
4,000.
500. So I'll go to 500 and then I'll stop.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you manage to come across any other items in the other branching paths, they'll end up in your item bag there, and they may alter other endings or allow other paths that you, were closed off before that aren't now.
We have 4 endings left.
Yep. You're starting to get there, yeah.
Alright, let's here. Okay, let's walk towards Snape's house again. But let's just open the door. We won't knock. So eager to get to the bottom of this mystery, Yuri opened the unlocked door and proceeded to enter Snape's home without a care in the world. Let's see if that gives us anything different. Silence. Yuri felt like she was the only person in the world. At this point, her mind flooded with endless hypothetical scenarios that could account for this situation. What if something terrible had happened to everyone? She hungered for answers. Motivated by her newfound curiosity, Yuri walked upstairs towards Snape's room. Perhaps something would be revealed to her there. Once Yuri was upstairs, she gently opened the bedroom. When she entered, the lights were off. This was further indication that the house was empty. However, there was an open laptop on the bed, presumably Snape's. It was connected to the television with a long HDMI cable. Yuri turned on the television.
So the only difference down this route was simply the choices you took to get here, and therefore slightly different dialogue, but it ultimately leads to the same ends.
There was no other option after load save file?
No, after
apart
loading
from
the save file,
either you going through the portal or Monica
that's it.
and running
loading
away.
Save file just takes you to the portal option. Running away just resets the game again.
Okay, let's just do run away.
Yep.
Okay, actually, let's just load. So let's go back here. No, is it here? No.
Yeah, the reason that it's not skipping real well is because it's ever so slightly different dialogue, and so it doesn't like to skip if it's slightly new dialogue. So that's why it wasn't really skipping properly for you.
Let's go back. Right, let's enter the hallway. Let's turn right. Let's turn left now instead of going to Snape's house. However, Yuri took the left instead for some reason and ended up in an unfamiliar neighborhood. Realizing she had made an error in direction, Yuri turned around and headed back towards Snape's house. So let's enter the house in front. Yuri, you're really determined to do something. I honestly have no idea what. But that doesn't matter. I can guarantee you that the best course of action you could take right now would be to turn around, exit this building, and go back to Snape's house. Okay, let's go upstairs. But Yuri just couldn't do it. If she ran into Snape, what would she tell him? Everybody disappeared and I wanted to ask you if you know what's going on. He would think she's insane. Anybody would. Or maybe she is. Did Yuri Really believe that all of her classmates mysteriously blinked out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? As Yuri pondered this, she began noticing other strange observations. Why are there only 2 classrooms in the entire school? How come all the windows emit a static white glow? As she thought over all the things in the world that just didn't make sense, Yuri came to an obvious conclusion. I must be dreaming, she assured. Yuri was so relieved to have finally found an answer. She still had her friends, her literature club, and she wasn't crazy after all. If she were to wake up soon, she ought to enjoy this dream while it was still lucid. And thus, she imagined herself observing the world through a window on a rainy day, along with a book for her to quietly read. This was one of Yuri's favourite things to do. The only thing missing is tea, of course. Yuri imagined herself drinking a warm cup of tea while enjoying her book. This was great. Yet Yuri marvelled at how she had not woken up yet. Why was she staying asleep for so long? And then perhaps the strangest question of all entered Yuri's mind. Only she was amazed she hadn't asked herself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head, narrating everything I do and think? Hell, it isn't even a voice. It's just text over a pink box. The text is now describing itself, and describing how Yuri is now realizing that the text is self-aware. Yuri thought all of this was very strange. Did this text speak to everyone in their dreams? But Yuri knew full well that this wasn't a dream. She was as awake as she's ever been. But how? Didn't she alter reality just a moment ago? No, this must be a dream. Yuri is in control. She will prove that she is in control. And thus, Yuri gently closed her eyes. She imagined herself
So
asleep.
you recognize which Stanley Parable ending this is that we're heading down?
I think so. She imagined herself asleep on her bed, ready to step into wakefulness. Yuri began to whisper softly to herself. I've seen everything that needs to be seen. This dream has satisfied me. Let it be over. I want to see my friends. I want to go to school and continue my normal life. That is all I want. I will soon awaken and be okay. Everything will be fine. I will be fine. Yuri opened her eyes. Yuri began to scream. Wake me up, anyone? Hello? Can you hear me? My name is Yuri, I'm a student and vice president. That was way too fast for me to read all that. And then everything went black. Racist. Not kidding. This is the story of a girl named Sayori. Despite struggling with depression, she always tried to maintain a positive outlook on life and make the best out of every situation she found herself in. Today, Sayori was heading towards the club room after school to meet with her friends at the literature club. She was particularly early this afternoon, so the room was empty upon arriving. Or at least she thought it was empty until... Yuri, what are you doing here? Come on, get up, everyone else should arrive soon. Are you okay? You're either taking a really big nap with your eyes open, or... Sayori's eyes widened as she considered all the possible explanations. People usually don't take naps with their eyes open, so this could only mean... Yuri's dead. What? Don't worry, she's not dead. As I walked by the classroom earlier, I heard her stumbling around, talking and screaming to herself. I wanted to check on her, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Nobody truly knows what's going on in Yuri's head, and at that time, I really didn't want to find out. Well, she's obviously unconscious. I wonder what happened to her. We should probably tell a school nurse. Monica exited the room to alert the nurse, while Natsuki and Sayori stayed in the club room keeping an eye on Yuri. They took the time to appreciate the fact that they were sane, how they were in control of their minds, knowing what's real and what isn't. Monica returned, and the nurse began examining Yuri. Not wanting to lose any more time, the 3 girls began sharing their poems from last night.
So that was, yeah, the Stanley Parable insanity ending, where he just stumbles out onto the street and just goes crazy.
Right.
And yes, that's the red glowing one up the top. So you've got 3 left, do you?
Yep.
Nice. Well, I know exactly where 2 of them are, but I'm trying to think of the 3rd one.
Go downstairs this time. You know what, Yuri? Fine. If you want to choose your own adventure, go right ahead. This is the the
The adventure line.
Yeah, the adventure line. I'll just dip out now. My narration is pointless. If you just want to ignore it like this. You're on your own now. Good luck. Have fun doing whatever you're trying to do here.
Wow, so apparently there's like a time machine in this basement.
There's no no. So there's only yes.
Well, I guess we're turning the time machine on then.
Let's go to the future. $2027, that's not that far away. Hi, Skievers. Oh, sorry. Hi, Snape. Welcome to the Literature Club.
Yeah.
I knew you would show up after all. You should probably go meet the other members. Hello there. I'm Yuri. Nice to meet you, Snape. Hey. So what kind of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way for answering that. Manga. I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. Personally, I enjoy novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. Rue seems to have disregarded my previous comment, probably for the better. The levels of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me, and telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Oh, I'm rambling again, aren't I? Sorry. Not at all, Yuri. I enjoy listening to you. I really do. The way she explains things help me understand her. She's a very well-articulated person. At least when she wants to be. Are you serious? Yeah. Oh well, that's good to hear. Anyway, nice meeting you, Snape. Nice meeting you too, Yuri. Ugh, do I have to introduce myself? It's not like anyone cares anyway. Jeez, what's up with her? Well, you should probably at least tell me your name. Oh, so you think you can boss everyone around just because you're the only boy in the club? What? What are you talking about? Sorry about that. That's Natsuki. She can get that way sometimes. Natsuki, were you really going to show Snape the cupcakes you made for him? Wait, you made cupcakes for me? No. But Monica just said, not in that way, dummy. I figured that continuing this conversation was pointless, so I decided to talk to Monica. Hey again, Snape. Nice seeing you here. Yeah, we were in a few classes last year, but didn't talk much. Right, that means we can spend more time together now. Do you promise to spend the most time with me? What? Never mind that. I think I've had enough. I'll return to Sayori now. Hey Snape, did you make lots of new friends? Kind of. Awesome, great job. Sayori's definitely giving me way too much credit here. But when Monica said to spend the most time with her, she wasn't joking, you know. In fact, just pretend that all the other girls don't exist. Actually, scratch that. You don't have to pretend anymore. Oh my goodness. Just Monica. Thanks for trying this demo. I love you.
Nice. Well, that was one of the endings.
2 left.
Yep, just those 2. Yep. Alright, so we've gone all the way down the right-hand hallways again.
Yeah, that's not where I meant to go.
Yeah.
Let's just go to the main
Get back
menu.
to...
I'm
Yeah,
actually
that takes us
supposed to
back
be
to the,
going to... So I need to go to correct way. Enter the hallway.
Yep,
Turn
I had
right.
the correct way to start with.
Turn left. Enter the house in front. Go downstairs. Yes. Go to the past.
Yeah.
1984. You weren't even born yet. Oh, this is one of the endings.
You recognise the image, do you?
Yep.
Yep. Good spotting.
It's the one in the middle on the bottom.
Yep.
So the only
First
one
page,
left
there you go.
is the bottom right.
Yeah, that one with
On
all
that
3 of them
first
standing
page.
there, I think.
Yep. So the only other thing that I can think of that I haven't done is go into that room, that door on the right.
Which is pretty amazing because we'll see at the end after you've got all the endings uncovered. But it's interesting that you've left that particular route as the last thing to do. I'll just say that for now.
Is this just going to stop on its own?
I think maybe it does stay here until you click. I think so.
Click more. I don't want to delete all things. So... enter the hallway, turn right, turn left, enter the house in front, go downstairs, yes, go to the past, and yes, I want to delete all things. Yeah, so I didn't get anything different, it didn't matter which one I picked.
Yeah. So I don't really get that myself, but as far as I can tell, for whatever reason, that choice literally has no bearing on anything at the end, because both of them immediately take you back to the menu and they both just unlock that same ending.
So I need to turn left. I need to not follow what it says. I think. Okay. Great, we're almost there. Yuri entered the first door on the right. Of course, with this one. Ah, here we are. Isn't it beautiful? No, it is not. Yuri stared in awe at the endless field of stars and galaxies right outside the windows of this classroom. Couldn't you just watch this forever? I know I could. No need to go anywhere, no need to worry, just relax. Except that Monica's about to appear, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, this is meant to be referencing the Stanley Parable ending, where we wander into that weird sort of like outer space area and just stay there and like stare at the stars for ages with the narrator. That's sort of what this is referencing.
Stay in the room. Stay in the room. Return to the boy. Oh, Yuri, what are you doing? Go back to the room. You haven't even finished enjoying it. Well, walking straight is just going to take me to the firewall thing. Thank goodness, you had me worried there for a second. Let's open the door. The door is locked. It seems you need a key to enter. You can watch Starscape for hours on end. Doesn't that sound appealing? You can even read a book if you brought one. This is your last chance. If you're so curious to see what's at the end of that hallway. It was inevitable. I knew I couldn't hold you forever.
Yeah, so as far as I can tell, staying in this room indefinitely doesn't do anything. Yeah.
So I gotta press the off button again.
Yeah. It ends up locking you into that course of action.
Your discretion.
keep end up getting funneled back into this same ending.
Is there a certain amount, like, so there's nothing, no matter how many clicks I do?
Now, unless the number of clicks needs to be well past 1,000, I clicked all the way up to 1,000 and sort of stopped at like notable numbers along the way to get there, and nothing happened. So I very much doubt that there is
So I need to open that door,
anything to unlock here.
but I
You're
don't
right,
have a
that
key.
will have to happen. Right, exactly.
And I don't know how to get a key.
I'm also trying to work out where this last ending is. I know what the story is that takes place in that last ending that you haven't got, but I can't work out where you've got to go to get there. I think I know, but I'm not sure how to make it happen. I wouldn't be loading the game too much more. I'd just be new gaming every time. Just because I'm not sure it'll trigger if you keep loading old games too much.
Hey, I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air, like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is Sayori, my neighbour and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me. I overslept again! When I caught you this time. Maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you. Ugh, you say that like you were thinking about ignoring me. That's mean, Snape. Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something. Fine, fine. But you did wait for me after all. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean to me, even if you want to. Whatever you say, Sayori. Hehehe. We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. By the way, Snape, have you decided on the club to join yet? A club? I told you already, I'm not really interested in joining any clubs. I haven't been looking either. That's not true. You told me you would join a club this year. Did I? I'm sure it's possible that I did in one of our many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Sorry likes to worry a little too much about me, and I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. Uh-huh. I was talking to you about how worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. Your happiness is really important to me, you know. And I know you're happy now, but I'd die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because... Oops. Because you're not used to the real world. You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you. Alright. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises though. Will you at least promise me you'll try a little? Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that. Yay! Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind a little. At least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her head. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Hello? Sayori? Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize that I'm the only one left in the classroom. I thought I'd catch you on the way, you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed. You don't need to wait up for me if it's going to make you late to your own club. Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, know what? Well, that you could come to my club. Sayori. Yeah? There is no way I'm going to your club. Ugh, meanie? Sayori is vice president of the literature club. Not that I was ever aware that she had any interest in literature. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be a fun way to help start a new club. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title vice president. That said, her interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. Yeah, I'm going to the anime club. Come on, please! Why do you care so much anyway? Well, I kind of told the club yesterday I'd be bringing in a new member. And Natsuki made cupcakes and everything. Don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead or if she's so cunning as to have planned all of this out. I let out a long sigh. Fine, I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay? Yes, let's go! And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year classes and activities. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Everyone, the new member is here. I told you, don't call me a new member. I glance around the room. Welcome to the Literature Club. It's a pleasure meeting you. Sayori always says nice things about you. Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Ah, Snape, what a nice surprise. Welcome to the club. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. A few hours later. Yay! There you are. Hi again, Snape. Welcome to the Literature Club. Of course we already know each other, because we were in the same class last year and, I guess we can just skip over that stuff at this point. After all, I'm not even talking to that person anymore, am I? That you in the game, whatever you want to call him. I'm talking to you, Skievers. Now that I think about it, I don't really know anything about... what was that? What? Snape, I don't know what's going on. I feel like I've lost control. I was supposed to be just us. What's happening? Oh, thank goodness. At least I still have that. Stay here. I'll find a way to solve this. You can minimize this window, move it, or do something else entirely. But just please don't delete me. That .chr file is all I have left.
So obviously don't go minimizing the window and moving it, even though she says you're allowed to. You don't need to because I've set you up a little tiny window above that with everything you need.
So I just click it and then delete it?
Yep. The stream won't see any of it because it's not being broadcast on the stream, but that's okay.
What's happening? Snape, what's happening to me? It hurts. It hurts so much. Help me, Snape. Please hurry and help me. Help me! Did you do this to me? Did you? Did you delete me? How could you? How could you do this to me? This is the story of a girl named Yuri. This is the story of a girl named Yuri. This is the story of a girl named Yuri. This is the story of a girl named Yuri. All main endings cleared.
There you go. That was your last one. So that was the ending of get the actual game of Doki Doki Literature Club to happen inside of the Yuri Parable. So now you get the credit sequence again because you've now unlocked all of the main endings. So all of these come up in colour now. So there you go. What do you think of that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's yeah, as I say, it's kind of interesting that that was your very last ending to go through, because that's the one where you go in that room and you stay there for ages and you end up going to the firewall and back into the room again and stuff like that. That's what ends up triggering the game to restart into the ordinary Doki Doki Literature Club with deleting Monica. And so it's interesting that deleting Monica was your last ending rather than just one of the ones in the middle.
Yeah.
Because of course it doesn't actually impact any of the rest of the game. If you do that ending earlier and delete Monica, and then you go around to all the other endings with the firewall and with the time machine or with the video.
Special thanks. Narrator, Skievers, you.
Yes, you've unlocked the music track section of the gallery.
Aha, a key that unlocks the door outside the room.
So you get that key only by completing all of the endings in the gallery. So once again, it's interesting that that was your last ending, because you would have learnt about that door a long time ago, and you only get that key by doing all of the other endings.
Oops.
You're forgetting how to get back there. You're currently in the save menu, not the load menu.
Yeah, I realize that. Opening the door and entering the room, Yuri noticed a small note inside. Check my YouTube, bro. youtube.com/c/Niraki. Assuming the note was not worth her attention, Yuri set it aside and continued searching this new room.
So that's obviously the creator of this game getting their
Yeah, I
little
saw that.
moment of publicity within the game. Yep.
After some time, Yuri managed to find nothing? There is nothing else in this room? But how can that be? This is a new area that has recently been unlocked. Surely it must have some relevance to the story, right? Or are we just going to stay here and call this an ending? No. This would be the worst ending ever. There must be something we're missing. Alright, Yuri, it's pretty safe to assume that we're lost right now. That being said, I think it's time I did something about this myself. The end is sometimes the end. Behold, the Yuri Parable adventure line. It leads to the story. If we follow it, we're sure to get back on track. So Yuri, what are we waiting for? Let's follow that line.
Okay, so this is obviously going to feel nice and fun, but I do have to say there's a 2-minute warning coming up here for viewer discretion, mature content.
Actually, hold on, this seems a little bland. Oh, I know, let's play some fitting music to accompany our adventure. There we go. Now let's see, where does the line lead to now? I guess I'm more like backwards since it seems to already backtracking. I can feel it, we're getting closer. You know, Yuri, I was initially hesitant to bring the adventure line into play here, as I felt like a form of cheating. But we were in such an utterly hopeless situation, I figured help from a third party would be necessary. Actually, this has me thinking. What if this line never stops? What if it just keeps going and going around the school? Could that be considered a destination? Although we didn't reach an end, perhaps the journey itself would be the line's purpose. Maybe the story isn't here, and the line is just entertaining us by pretending to lead to a definite destination. But that destination is the excitement and the anticipation we get from the journey in and of itself. Oh, just ignore my rambling. I didn't know where I was going with that anyway. Oh, what's this? A new area? How exciting! Isn't this so much fun, Yuri? Let's continue. We're almost there. I'm sure of it. Alright, the line has led us to a single door. It doesn't look like there are any other rooms connected to this one. So this must be our destination, the story. Are you ready, Yuri? Thanks to the line, we finally found what we were looking for. Oh no. What am I looking at? No, this is all wrong. This event is impossible given our current timeline and location. The adventure line was wrong? Is this your idea of a story? An interesting advancement? Well, let me tell you, there is a fine line in between a shocking plot twist and a senseless garbage. How could you do this to us, line? Especially after we put so much trust in you. Yuri, we need to get out of here. We won't be needing the adventure line anymore. You know, Yuri, without the line, we are free to create our own path. We can do whatever we want. And what should be the first thing we do in this new story of ours? Perhaps visit Sayori's house. I know it would be interesting to see what's there, especially after what the line showed us. Yes, that's what we're going to do. First action we're going to take in our new line-free adventure is to visit Sayori's house. Let's go, Yuri. Let's see, it should be around here. Here we are. Let's see what awaits us beyond this door. Up the stairs, Yuri, towards Sayori's bedroom. Here we are. What? This isn't Sayori's bedroom. What's this? The Yuri Parable ending 13? So this was just supposed to be an ending all along? Wait. Then this means our new story where we could do whatever we wanted without the line, that wasn't real? It was all part of whatever this is? Hold on a second. We're not even at the end? Game restarts on its own? And I'm just supposed to forget everything after that? No, I'm not having that. I will remember everything this game will not.
So you remember that ending from Stanley Parable, where they follow the Adventure Time long enough that they end up coming to that screen that makes the narrator forget everything. So I can tell you that officially at this point, having seen that screen with the ending number 13 on it, you have officially completed all the content in the game.
Okay.
The only differences will be tiny dialogue changes, like if you're going in the manga closet and you choose to come out early and go back in and stuff like that, you'll just get funny alternate dialogue options, and the same with like rating the different games with different scores and stuff like that. You'll just get different dialogue options and stuff like that, but the same choices, and there's no new endings from this point on. The only other thing that you can probably check out if you want is in the gallery. It said when you got the key and unlocked the door, you also unlocked in the gallery the music section.
Well, that's all. So we got everything and we completed the game.
Yep. If you want to, you can click on any of those tracks on the track list on the left and it just plays each of those individual tracks. But yeah, otherwise, that's it. That's the Yuri Parable.
Well, that's all, guys. Thanks for watching the stream. Let me just turn this down a bit. It's a bit loud. Alright guys, thanks for watching the stream, thanks for joining, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Alright, bye bye.